What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and a big welcome to all the members of the Overskilled Gaming crew. Overskilled Gaming here with another Hearthstone top 10 list, and in this list I present you my top 10 of the worst Legendary Hearthstone cards. Always remember, it's just my opinion on the cards. If you have a different opinion, write them down in the comment section. Tell me what you think about the cards. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, join the OSG crew for more gaming and sport content, and also like the video. And now, without further talking, let's start with the top 10. Let's start with rank 10. We start the list on rank 10 with the Hunter Legendary card Acid Morph, and as you can read, whenever another minion takes damage, destroy it. So that card was meant as a Hunter card for Control Hunter, and as that in general it has a bad start. So it was meant as a board clear in combination with, for example, Unleash the Hounds, but as you can tell, Hunter as a phase class, as a damage dealing class, that concept was never really going well. So by the fact Acid Morph only has 2 life and you have to pay 7 mana, yeah, it's really a problematic thing to play, and it will never stick on the board. So basically it was just an RNG thing, and yeah, it was never good in the game, never seen it much played, and just in general a bad card, and that's why it is on rank 10 of my list of the 10 worst legendary cards. On rank 9 of my list we have Moga the Ogre, a legendary card for 6 mana with 7 attack and 6 life, which is basically okay, but the text on Moga the Ogre is basically horrible for every good player because it involves as much RNG as you can think of, and what you want to have as a pro player, as a really good and high above legendary player in Hearthstone, is a very small amount of RNG. And Moga the Ogre, with its text, all minions have a 50% chance of attacking the wrong enemy, delivers you the most RNG moment that is possible on a card. And because good players don't want to have RNG, it's a very bad card, and it is rank 9 on my top 10 list of the worst legendary cards in Hearthstone. On rank 8 we have the neutral legendary card Surgeon Sally, which text says Death Rattle, deal damage to all minions equal to the attack of Surgeon Sally. And basically the idea of Blizzard was to give all classes a neutral board clear, which is in particular a good thing, but the problem with Sergeant Sally is it only has 1 life, so you have to buff it immediately at the turn where you play it, and that is where the problem is, because if you cannot buff her, she will just blow up, she will just die, because every class can deal 1 damage to her. So basically a good idea, and in some strange specific ways a card you can play, but nearly every class has a way better way to clear the board, and that's why I think Sergeant Sally deserves the 8th rank. On rank 7 we have the Mistcaller, the Shaman legendary that buffs all the minions in our hand and in our deck. So the problem with it is basically it's like a Prince Caliset, but you can just play it on turn 6, and Prince Caliset you can play on turn 2, and with the rogue cards you can get it back to your hand and combo it. And so it gives the rogue a lot of tempo, and it is way scarier when you can play it early, when the minions in the early game are bigger. So with the Mist Caller, the problem is you just can't play it at turn 6, and that is basically a situation in the game where most of the classes don't care a lot about those stats, and they are able to remove all minions however how big they are. So basically there's no good strategy around it, and to be honest, Shaman does have a lot of different cards that fit different strategies, which are seen more played as this card. This card isn't played a lot in competitive play or anything else, and that's why it is at rank 7 on my top 10 list. So next on the list is a neutral card, the Skeleton King, a legendary card for 6 mana that gives us 7 attack and 4 life, and it has the death rattle, reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs most, return this to your hand. So it's basically an infinite value card. The Skeleton King, if you have the bigger minion or the bigger card, Skeleton King always comes back to your hand. But the problem basically is it only has 4 health, so it's basically very easy tradable. It doesn't defend you because nobody will attack in this minion, like into Emperor or something like that. Into minions you have to attack. It doesn't have anything, not a death rattle that immediately gives you something on the board, or it also hasn't taunt, so it can't defend you. So basically it's just a minion with not that good stats for 6 mana, and there are a lot of good cards in the 6 mana segment. So I personally think that is a very bad card, and it should stay buried. And yeah, that it is why it is on rank 6 on my top 10 count of the worst legendary cards in Hearthstone. Entering the top 5, we start with Flame Leviathan, and it's basically the mage card, a 7/7 for 7 mana that has an AoE effect on the board. When we draw this card, we deal 2 damage to all characters. So the problem with it is basically complete RNG, because you cannot tell when you draw it, and the bad part is it actually can also damage yourself, because it deals 2 damage to all characters. So the Flame Leviathan also can have a bad effect on your side of the board. Other than that, we have to say Mage doesn't really need a board clear, because we have Blizzard, we have Flame Strike. So this card is basically not needed, not played, and yeah, it is on the 5th place of my top 10 list. On rank 4 we have the well-known Millhouse Mana Storm, a 2 mana card with amazing stats. He has 4 attack and 4 life, but he has the battle cry enemy spells cost 0 next turn, and that is most likely the most backfiring card in the whole game. So if you can play it on turn 2, you basically gain a lot of tempo, no doubt about that. A 4/4 on turn 2 is very good and very effective, but it is very likely your opponent has spells in hand, and on the next turn he can play them for free, damage your face extremely, buff his own minions, just clear Millhouse Mana Storm, just play against the mage, he will play Frostbolt, ping your face, voila, no Millhouse Mana Storm anymore. And yeah, we have seen hundreds of clips where this card backfires on the player who actually plays it, and that's why this card gets a well-deserved 4th place, not top 3, because there are 3 minions that are actually worse, but a well-deserved rank 4. Starting our top 3 with Hemi Necessary, the 5 mana legendary that can destroy you a beast. It has 6 attack, which is basically very good, but it only has 3 health, and that is a very big problem, because who wants to go all in on the fact that your opponent has a beast in his deck and you can gain value out of that? Just if your opponent doesn't have a beast in his deck, if he's not a hunter or a beast druid, you just get a card for 5 mana with 3 health and 6 attack, and that will never be played in any deck. So that is why Helmet Nessingberry is a nice little gimmick. It's a World of Warcraft thing, so it's a combination of Hearthstone and World of Warcraft. Very nice idea, but the card is simply not playable in Hearthstone in any serious deck, and that's why I have it in my top 3 of my top 10 of the worst legendary cards of Hearthstone. At rank 2 we have basically the legendary Boulder Fist Ogre. We have the Boogie Monster, an 8 mana legendary card with 6 attack and 7 health. So those kind of cards, 8 mana cards that are legendary, usually have a big effect. Think about Ragnaros or cards like that. They have a very huge effect. And the only thing Boogie Monster gives you is whenever this minion attacks and kills a minion, it gains 2/2 in stats. So if you can trigger the effect once, you basically have an 8/9 for 8 mana, which is kinda decent, but still not that amazing. So you also have to cut down the stats that fall off by the attack of the Boogie Monster. So as I said earlier, just a Boulder Fist Ogre with a little effect. So basically I have never seen this guy played in a serious Hearthstone deck, in a good deck, and that's why it is on the top 2nd place of my top 10 list. Very bad legendary card, just hides under kids' beds probably, and yeah, makes you fierce, and also fierce Hearthstone players, because they don't want to play this card. And the top place goes to the Warlock card, Wilfried Fizzlebang, a 6 mana legendary card for 4/4 that gives us the ability that our cards we draw from our hero power cost 0 mana. So basically we have a card with horrible stats, and we have a card that probably will not survive more than the round we play it. So basically we get a 6 or an 8 mana 4/4 with an additional card we can play for free. So that is not very amazing in any kind of anything. So Warlock has not the ability to press its hero power more often for a greater effect. So basically it's just an 8 mana card that gives us the monster, the pure body of the monster, which is a 4/4, plus a random card we cannot even choose or anything else. And that in combination is very bad, plus the fact that you will not see Wilfried Fizzlebang in the actually Warlock card or in the actually Warlock decks, because Warlock has so much potential and so many very good cards that that is just a very bad one that is simply never be played. And that is why Wilfried Fizzlebang, the Warlock card, is my top worst legendary Hearthstone card. So guys, that's it. That's my official top 10 of the worst legendary cards in Hearthstone. Write down in the comments what you think is the worst legendary Hearthstone card. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video. And that's it for this video. For this top 10, I'm Overskilled Gaming. I'm out. See ya!